So we save the program by using .c, .cpp, .py, .java, likewise. Okay. So initially we have the source program. After that, that source program we are going to pass to the assembler or the compiler. Okay. So what is the assembler or compiler? That is the translator. That takes the high level language and convert it into the low level language or the assembly language, right? So what is the output of assembler or compiler? That is the object code, right? Next, we are going to pass that object code to the linker part, right? And what is the use of the linker? What the linker do now? What the linker do now? What is the function of the linker? Linker links all the header files or the necessary library files with that object code, and finally the executable file will get created. .exe file, that we call this, right? The executable file of that program will get converted, and next the picture of loader comes. Now what the loader do? Loader take that executable code as an input and put that executable file into the main memory, right? So what is the use? What is the loader? Loader is the system software program. What is actually the loader is? Loader is the system software program that perform the loading function, right? So loading is the process of placing the program into the secondary memory, into the primary memory. When you save your program with a .extension .c, that program is saved into the secondary memory, right? So after the executed file .exe file will get created, what the loader do? Loader take that program from the secondary memory and put that exe file into the primary memory. That is the function of the loader, right? So what is the definition? Loader is a program that places the program into the main memory and prepare them for the execution. Clear? What is the loader is? Okay, so in that way there are the different 4 functions of the loader. Which are they? First is the allocation. Next one is what? Linking. Third one is what? Relocation. And after that, loading. Now what is the allocation means? What do you mean by the allocation? So here is what? Allocating the space for the program in the memory by calculating the size of the program. Once your file will get created, okay, first it checks what is the size of that program. Suppose my file require the somewhat size, okay. So first then loader checks where that size of the memory is available in the main memory, and according to that the program the space will get allocated in the main memory. Okay, that is the function of allocation. What is the function of the loader? Allocation. In that, the loader allocates the memory for the program in the main memory, right? So how the memory will get allocated? By using the size of the program. Okay. Next function is what? Linking. Now what is the linking? It links the object program code with the necessary library routine. What do you mean by this? What is the use of the linking? What is the use of the linking? What the loader do? Suppose there is we use the printf or scanf function, okay, but we don't need to write the definition of the printf and scanf function in our program, okay, but actually somewhere the definition or the functions of all that built-in function is available in the memory, okay. So what the linker do? Linker links that function with the main definition of that function, okay. Or suppose you can say that there is one function, okay, and I have written in that I have called the another function, and the definition of that function is written in the another module, okay. So what that linker do? Linker links that different object files, okay. So linker resolve the symbolic references of the code or data between the object modules by allocating all the user function or library functions used in your program. That is the function of linking, right? So next is what? Relocation. What is the relocation? What is the relocation? Suppose my program require X bytes of the memory, right? And suppose I have made some changes in that in the previous program. So I require the more size. Okay, so I require the more size in the main memory. Okay, so what the loader needs to do? Now loaders needs to check that size of the memory is available in the main memory or not. Okay, according to that, loader need to do some changes or to relocate that program in the main memory, right? That is the function of relocation. Next is what? Loading. Loading is the actual physically what is that is the loading. Okay. What the loader do now? The loader loads the program into the main memory for actual execution of the program. It loads all the machine instructions and the data of related programs and the functions into the main memory. Okay. So this process is known as loading. Here with all that four, first is allocation. What is the allocation? It allocates some memory to the program. Okay, next link. What is the use of linking? It links all the different object modules. Okay, next is relocation. So it changes the memory address of the program. Suppose in case there is some changes in my code. Okay, and what is the use of the loading? It loads all the instructions and data into the main memory. Okay, so in that way the loader perform that four functions. Clear with this, everyone? Okay, so based on about the four function, the loader is divided into the four different types. So there are the different types of the loader. First is compile and go loader, or assemble or go loader. Okay, second type is what? General loader scheme. Next is absolute loader. Next is direct linking loader, relocating loader, and dynamic linking loader. Now we'll see all that type of the loader one by one. What is compile and go loader? So you can check with this diagram. So first there is what? Source program. Next here is compile and go translator. Okay, this is translator. Okay, next here is the main memory, and in the main memory there is a loaded program in the memory, and here is what? And here is what? Assembler, right? Which type of loader is this? Compile and go loader. Okay, so in this type of the loader, the assembler, you can check here. Okay, the assembler performs the assembler as a translator as well as loader. Okay, so here is the source program, and here is what? Translator, which takes that input, convert it into the object file or in the lower language. Okay, this is the translator, and again you can check here is assembler is already present in the main memory also. So assembler work as a translator as well as loader. Okay, so in this type of loader, the assembler is present in the memory, and the other part of the memory there is a assembled instructions. Okay, so assembled machine instruction is placed directly into the memory with their assigned memory locations. So in compile and go loader, the assembler places the assembled instructions directly into the designated memory location for their executions. Okay, and again, what is there in the compile and go loader? Each line will get read by line. Okay, there are suppose 10 lines. Okay, so first line will get read. Okay, and after that what translator do? Translator convert that one line into the lower language and put into the main memory, right? Again second line will get read and again put into the main memory. So in that way each line will get read one by one. Okay, and it is the again the basic type of a loader. Generally it was used in the 1970s before your before C or C++ language, before your C and C++ language. So example of that is Fortran language. Okay, so that the compile and go there in the Fortran language. Hello, I'm audible. Okay. Okay, so what is the example of the loader? VAT477. Okay, so you can read here. So in this type of loader, the instruction is read line by line. Okay, its machine code is obtained and it is directly put into the main memory at some known address. This means that assembler runs one part of the memory, okay, and the assembled machine instruction and data is directly put into the assigned memory location. Okay, after compilation of the assembly language, assign starting address of the program to the location counter. And what is the example of compile and go loader? That is VAT477. Okay, and what is the advantages of that? What are the different advantages? As this is used in as this is used in a very basic type of language, so it is very easy to implement. Okay, so relocation performed by the translator itself. Okay, no object file is created because the line get read by one, and directly after the conversion into the lower language, it will get directly placed into the main memory. So no object file is created. Okay, and it is suitable only for the basic types of the program. But what are the disadvantage of that? So as you can see, the assembler is present in the main memory, so lots of the memory will get wasted here. Okay, so the portion of the memory is wasted because of the combination of assembler and loader activities. This combination program occupies the large block of the memory. As the assembler is present, the large amount of the memory will get wasted because the loader require the less memory as compared to the assembler. Okay, there is no production of object file. Okay. Hence, even though there is a no modification in the source code, it needs to be assembled and executed each time. Okay. Again, what is the third advantage? It cannot handle the multiple source program or multiple programs written in the different languages. Okay. And what is the last advantage? The execution time will be more in this scheme as every time the program is assembled and then executed. Okay, so all that advantages will get covered in the next type of the loader, that is general loader scheme. Okay, so we know that the what is the basic, what are the different basic types of the languages? First is Fortran. Okay, next is C++. The disadvantage of the C will get covered in the C++, and the disadvantages of the C++ will get covered in the Java languages in the same way. The disadvantage of that loader will get covered where in the next type of the loader, that is general loader scheme. Okay, so you can check here the diagram. So now what is that? Here is the source program. Next we pass to the translator. The lower, next the object program of that source program will get created here. Okay, so this is for the another program. After that, this program will get loaded. Okay, and by using the loader, what the loader do now? Loader puts that code or that executable file in the main memory. Okay, executable object code. And in the previous compile and go, there is a similar, but in the general loader scheme, you can check here the loader itself present in the main memory. Okay. So in this type of the loader, the source program is converted into the object program by some translator. We call this as assembler. Then the loader accepts this object module and put that machine instruction and data into the executable file, executable form at their assigned memory. You can check here in this diagram. Okay, executable object code, and in the other part there is a loader. Okay, so the loader occupies some portion of the memory. What are the advantages of this type of a loader? It is reassemble of the program is not needed. Okay, next is what? The translator of a program produces a compatible object file. More memory is available for the user as loader is itself present in the main memory, and it is possible to write the different subroutines and the function. Okay, And what is the disadvantage? The loader can't handle the different object module obtained from the different languages. Okay, so this is the disadvantage of the general loader scheme. Clear with these two type? First one is what? Compile and go scheme. Okay. So what happens in the compile and go? Each line will get read and executed one by one. Okay. But in case of the general loader scheme, all the whole program will get translated and put into the main memory. So now third type of the loader is what? Absolute loader. Okay. So now what is the absolute loader? So you can check here the diagram. What is the absolute loader? Okay. An absolute loader, it is the simplest of all other loaders. It takes the output of the assembler and loads into the memory at a specific fixed address specified by the programmer. So loader does not perform any relocation. So you can check here. So here is a segment 1. Here is the assembler takes that as an input. Okay. Already and the output of the assembler is what? Object file. There is a starting address mentioned by the programmer. If you know, we take the what is our first instruction? Start 100 or start at some memory location. Okay, the starting address, it is mentioned by the programmer. Okay, so here is the another segment 2 assembler, and again here is the starting address. Okay, so in the absolute loader, the starting address, it is given by the programmer itself. Okay, it takes the output of the assembler and loads into the memory at a specific and fixed address specified by the programmer. So loader does not perform any relocation. Okay, it is called as an absolute because it loads the program in an absolute predetermined location in the memory rather than the location determined by the operating system. Okay, so the starting address of every module, it is known to the programmer. This correspond the starting address is stored in the object file, and then the task of the loader become very simple, that it is to simply place the executable form of a machine instruction at the location mentioned in the object file. Okay. So in the absolute loader, this kind of the loader in which the relocated object file are created. Okay. So loader, what the loader do? The loader accept these files and places them at the specific location in the memory. So this type of location is called as absolute. Why? Because the starting address, it is already given by the programmer. So because of that, the task of the loader is become very simple. Because the starting address is given by the programmer, so loader needs to just load that program at that particular address. Okay, so in this scheme, the programmer or the assembler should have the knowledge of the memory management. Okay, so thus in absolute loader, the 4 loader functions are performed by. Okay, so allocation it is performed by the programmer because the address is given in the program. Next is linking is performed by the programmer or the assembler. Okay, again relocation, it is performed by the assembler, and loading by the loader. Okay, so what are the different advantages of the absolute loader? So it is very simple, easy to design and implement. This scheme allows the multiple program or the source program written in the different languages. Okay, so in the previous loader schemes, only it takes the files, object files of the only the same language, but in this type of the loader, it takes the object file created from the different languages also. Okay, so no relocation information is required. Next is what are the different disadvantage of the absolute loader. The programmer must specify the starting address to the assembler for the program where it should be loaded. Okay, so programmer must know the memory management as well as the memory status at any time. Okay, since the linking is handled by the programmer has to remember the addresses of each module. Okay, so these are the disadvantages of the absolute loader. Now what is the example of absolute loader? When you start or you restart your computer, a special type of absolute loader is executed. What is the name of that loader? Is bootstrap loader. Okay, so this bootstrap loader, the first program to be run by the computer, that is what? Operating system. Okay, what is the name of that absolute loader? Bootstrap loader. Okay, so next is what? The fourth type of the loader is subroutine linkages. So in that we are going to use the functions or the subroutines. So you can check here the program. So here is the main function. In that we have called one function. What is the name of that function? Square, and the parameter pass is 4. Okay, next what is that? This is the function definition, or we call this as subroutine. Okay, so that 4 will get passed in the n1. Okay, and after that int x is equal to n1 means it will calculate the square of that 16. It will return that 16 in which variable? Num. Okay, so what is the subroutine linkages? A set of the instructions which are used repeatedly in the program can be referred as a subroutine, or what we call this as the function. Suppose I want to run that function or the particular code multiple times. So instead of writing that code multiple times, we need to use what we are going to do? We are going to use that subroutine or the function. Okay. So when a subroutine is required, it can be called many times during the execution of the particular program. Okay, so you can check here. So in a first subroutine, one function is another subroutine is called. Okay, in the second subroutine, the another subroutine is called. Okay, so what is the use of the subroutine linkage loader? What it do? When that function is called, what the subroutine loader do? It loads that subroutine into the main memory. Okay, what is the use of subroutine linking loader? When the function or the subroutine is called, it loads that particular function or a subroutine into the main memory. Okay, so in subroutine 1, subroutine 2 is called, so it loads that subroutine 2 into the main memory. Okay, again in subroutine 2, subroutine 3 is called, again subroutine 3 is loaded into the main memory. That is the use of, or that is the function of subroutine linker. Okay, so you can check here the another example also. Here is one function. What is the name of that function? My function. The two parameters are there, x and y. X is equal to 40, y is equal to 50. Okay, and here is we have called that function. Okay, that function or the function definition, what we call this as the callee. Okay, and the calling function calling, what we call this as caller, and whole that process what we call call. Okay, so what that subroutine linkages do? It loads that particular function into the main memory. Clear with this, everyone? Yes? Please reply. Clear with this? Okay, so there are two types of the statements in the subroutine linkages. First is what? Extern statement, and another is what? Entry statement. Okay, extern statement, EXTRN. Okay, what is that? The symbol which are defined in other program units are called as extern symbol. Okay, what is extern statement? The symbol which are defined in other program units are called as extern symbol. Okay, these symbols are used in the current program unit but defined in other program unit. Okay, So what is the syntax for that? We need to use extrn, after that the symbol name. So let's say extrn and the symbol is f1. Okay, and another type is what? Entry statement. Now what is that? The symbol which is defined in the current program unit, and this symbol may be referenced in the another program unit. Okay, what we call this type of statement is entry statement. Okay, and what is the syntax? We need to write the entry and the symbol. Okay, and the last type of the loader is relocating loader. Okay, now what is relocating loader? You can check here that diagram. Okay, so you can check here. Here is one program module. Okay, and what is the size? The starting address is 0. Okay, and what is the size? 0 to 57. Here is another program. What is the size? 0 to 30. Here is the third program. What is the size? 0 to 34. Okay, and here is what? Relocating loader. What the relocating loader? It will place that particular program starting from 0 to 57. Okay, next it takes the another program. Okay, and how much size it require? Suppose the 30 bytes. Okay, so it starts from 58 plus 13, that is 71. Again it takes the third program. Okay, how much size it will require? 34 bytes. So it starts from the 72 up to the 100, right? Oh sorry, 106. Okay, so what is the use of that relocating user? So when suppose we have one subroutine and we have changed the address, or we have done some changes in that. Okay, so when one subroutine is changed, we have to change all other functions. Okay, so the task of the allocation and the linking for the programmer become very tedious. So the relocating loader is needed. Okay, so what the relocating loader do? So relocation, it is the process of modifying the address used by the program such that the program can execute correctly. Okay, so the loaders that allow for the program relocation are called as relocating loader. Okay, it loads the program in the specific area of the memory so that it can be executed properly. Okay, so what is the example of that? BSS, that is binary symbolic subroutine. Okay, loader used in IBM 7094 and IBM 1130. So BSS scheme stored object, program and information about all the program. Okay, so suppose there are the three modules, first, second and third. Okay, suppose I have made some changes. I have made some changes in that in the second module, and because of that, the size of that module will get increased. Okay, so what the programmer needs to do in the case of the in that case, we need to shift, we need to change the memory location of that third module also. Okay, so because of that, the relocation loader is required. What it do? It calculates it takes the starting address, calculates the size of that particular module, and according to the availability of in the memory, all that modules will get placed. Okay, because of the properly execution of that all the programs. Okay, so what are the different advantages of that? The relocation bits are used to solve the problem of relocation. Okay, next is the word transfer vector. Okay, transfer vector is used to solve the problem of a linking, and the program length to solve the allocation. Now what is the transfer vector? Transfer vector is a continuous block of the memory that stores the data temporarily while it is being transferred. Okay, so what are the different disadvantages of that? It is not suited for loading the external data. Okay, and because of because we are using the transfer vector in the relocating loader, the size will get increased. Clear with this? Yes, please reply. Okay. So the next part is what? So tell me, which different types of the loader we have seen up till now? Yes? Yes, Atish? Can you tell me which different types of the loader types we have seen up till now? Yes? Who will tell me? Yes, Avnish? Are you there? Avira?